Any political party breaking the IEC code of conduct, like deliberately spreading fake news, can be fined up to 200,000 rand or even have their party registration cancelled. A new initiative called the Local Government Election 2021 Disinformation Project is closely monitoring the upcoming municipal polls to see that political parties follow the rules. Groups Right to Know, Code for Africa, Superlinear and Witness are leading this independent project. Their coordinator, Phumzile Van Damme, is live with us now from Oslo. Phumzile, thanks a lot for your time. How will your project monitor this practically? There is so much to monitor. Print, radio, TV, social media, WhatsApp. How will you do it?
Yes, we will be using technological tools as well as data science to carefully monitor not only conversations on social media, because that's where a lot of disinformation is spread, but also media coverage for any disinformation. We believe it's important not only for political parties to be truthful in how they communicate with the public, but it's also important that we've seen that disinformation has led to violence, has contributed to violence, as we saw in July. So it's important that we carefully monitor, and if we encounter any disinformation, we try and nip it in the bud before it becomes harmful, and we will be sending such instances to the electoral court for them to adjudicate and hand down if any sanctions that they deem appropriate.
How will you hold the parties accountable? What are the processes that are available? What legislation will you be counting on?
Well, the IEC Code of Conduct lists quite explicitly what political parties are prohibited from doing. They're prohibited from spreading any false information. They're prohibited from using their positions of power to unethically influence the outcome of the election. And the Electoral Court especially established to deal with violations of the IEC Code of Conduct is established for this purpose, to determine if there have been violations of the IEC Code of Conduct, and can hand down sanctions, as you correctly pointed out, from handing down fines of up to 200,000 rand, preventing a political party from working in a specific area. They can hand down very serious sanctions. What we really hope is that our project will be a deterrent, and political parties will carefully consider how they communicate with the public. We do not want a situation where there is violence. We've seen not only with, I think the most popular example is the US election, where because there was so much disinformation, violence resulted with the Capitol attacks. But we've seen many examples over the last year across our own continent in Africa of disinformation-led violence. So this is something we are very worried about, and we would like South Africa to join us in carefully keeping an eye on any disinformation, and if there's any disinformation or incitement of violence, that they take a stand in their communities and say, no, we will not allow for this in our communities, and make sure that they too, because anyone can report infringements of the IEC Code of Conduct, if they see any incitement of violence, that they report this to the Electoral Court.
Well, Phumzile, it's a tough task, but it's definitely needed. Like you say, we've seen the impact of disinformation, of misinformation. Thank you so much for your time. You've got a tough job ahead of you, so all the best. Phumzile Van Damme from the Local Government Election 2021 Disinformation Project.